we can see from dreaming place a planet that is empty. So we sing through time and space that she may have plenty. We sing out across the land and across the water. We sing women, we sing man, we sing son, we sing daughter. Remember well what we told you, and don't forget where you came from. Mother Earth will always hold you, and you are born of just one song. We sing mountains and the trees and the rivers flowing. We sing the rain that falls so free and the wind that's blowing. Now we've blessed what we've given, this land where we belong. Dreaming story we are living, dreaming dance, dreaming song. Remember well what we have told you, and don't forget where you're from. Mother Earth will always hold you. You are born of just one song. Yeah, you were born of just one song. And that's a song from this year by a guy called Archie Roach, who sings a lot about being from, sings other songs about the stolen generation, where people were taken away from their families, from nature, by sort of colonialist people, like the ancestors of the European people like myself, who removed them from families and removed them from that connection to nature. And he writes these beautiful songs now that talk about the connection to nature. So I just thought I'd read that out from someone who obviously has a really strong connection to nature, even though they've been through some adverse conditions.
I'm emotional. Well, it's very touching. For many reasons, I'm not going to go into the analytics, but obviously because it's now the final day of the project, and where my role is shifted, and it puts me in a more vulnerable position, which I'm grateful to allow myself to take. It provoked and resonated deeply, and it reminded me on text I wrote, imagining that I was a member of Majoruna people who live in Brazil, or Mates people, who also were deeply affected by the colonialism and still are. So in that sense, it also asks me to think about my position and where I speak from as a human being, and all these qualities that human being can possess, have, or be. But I mostly now feel more and more, I feel as, and I try to use that as the human non-human, so as the more than human, because I'm aware of also all the non-humans or these bacteria that live in me, and trying to use my position as a human to be grateful also for those more than human beings that create me. I wonder who I am actually as a human, who we are. So this beautiful song that you read provoked many and associated me with many plants, grass, and I imagined images while you were reading. I haven't met that community, but I deeply, or I believe, doesn't have to be deeply, but I believe that's enough to say that we have these eons of knowledge or more wisdom that we have built throughout generations of ancestors, and that we in Western society have not valued and haven't nurtured and even destroyed purposely. So that makes me also vulnerable and compassionate and emotional. So we can connect to whoever we want. And when I mean who, I consider who this plant, Zamioculcas, that has been with me for this month, making me feel more nature than I sometimes feel. And there is one more small plant, Ica, behind me. So they are, even they don't have the status of persons in our society, for me they are who. So when I was only 2, we had a dog, little black dog. His name was Bobby, and even I don't see a first connection with nature, for example, with trees or forest. Bobby is what I say my first love, and well, it ended, and I felt guilty later when I realized that I was allergic to dogs and cats. So my parents left Bobby at my grandparents' farm. And there he didn't have a good life. You know, he was on a chain and he was not treated as he deserved. So just recently I found an image of my grandma and me, small and Bobby. So that was my first association. But I feel, I remember these moments when I was going into the forest with my parents and my brother, picking mushrooms or little berries for trees or chestnuts. And I remember the smell of the fresh leaves or dry leaves, or if it was after the rain, I can smell this earthy smell, you know, of the forest with leaves. I can feel these wet grass, if it's a little bit like a meadow in front of the forest, on my feet or on my legs. I can see how we pick up and cut the mushroom, or how you are, you know, hurt a little bit by the chestnut cover. And I remember this green world that I felt so happy when I would enter. It was like entering again to some protective, already known environment. Safe, but still careful, because you are aware of not knowing, as a child, not knowing so much about the forest. You always wonder if there is anyone who can hurt you from these little, you know, beings. But mostly very comforting.